Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen Workshop. It is August 31st, 2023, and it is 6:30 p.m. The prayer on Tuesday night will be with Alderwoman Hobbs. I will have the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone should have a copy of the August 1st, 2023 regular meeting and August 22nd, 2023 special meeting minutes. We will have it open to public comments. Then we'll have departmental reports. Moving into old business, second reading, ordinance 2023-18, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2023-2024 fund budget. And this again is just old business from last month. Does anyone have any questions on it? Moving on to second reading, ordinance 2023-19, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2023-2024 drug fund budget. Again, this is second reading from last month. Does anyone have any questions? Second reading, ordinance 2023-20, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2023-2024 equitable sharing fund budget. Again, this is second reading. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to the consent agenda. A, approve or reject city bids and purchases. First, we've got the sole source purchase ballistic carriers and plates for the police department.
That's part of your drug fund budget amendment.
Any question? This is the plates that they use.
These are out of
for
date,
SWAT.
so.
Yeah. Then on to number 2, the roof for the multipurpose building.
Yes, and we're waiting on a confirmation total, but the total for that is $25,541.20. And it's
much is
under
the
an
total?
Omnia.
What's the total?
25,000. Let me find it again. $541.20.
Is it gonna be metal or shingle? Shingle.
From what I'm seeing, it's gonna be shingle.
Okay.
And it is a Omnia purchase, no, Omnia contract.
Any other questions?
Next item is the copier for City Hall. That's just replacing the one that's in the mail room.
And it's $200 and
$250 a month, $200 per quarter, but that includes the service agreement, parts, labor, and they supply all of our toners.
wonderful. Any questions? Moving on to 4.
This is the new fire station, number 41's training room. Equipment, $67,017.37.
It's 87.
Yeah, you said 67. I've got 87.
Okay, wait a minute.
87,797.
Can I borrow my glasses?
Okay, that's a different page, sorry.
You're looking at the cost without installation.
Yeah.
And this is all for the training room for the fire station. Any questions? Okay.
The next one is the tasers, which is from your budget amendment for the equitable sharing. This is to replace all the tasers at the police department for all the officers.
Any questions? Okay. Moving on to 6.
This is the Globe firefighter suits and footwear for the fire department.
Any questions on that? On to 7.
Okay.
And number 7 is the GSA contract pricing for DocuSign services for use with Ceridian Dayforce. This is our new software for HR. And the quote provides 2,000 envelopes for use between the 11th of September of this year through the 10th of September next year. Cost is $11,418.70. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to approve change order number 3 for the Industrial Boulevard Sewer Expansion Project. And just like this sounds, it's a change order to the contract documents. It's overall, it's a decrease of $29,000. And I believe there was a slight typo on the background information, but it's $29,875.20. Does anyone have any questions?
Deductions are good.
Yes, we like deductions. And then last for consent agenda, we've got approved professional service agreement with Crofton Associates LLC for the right-of-way acquisition consulting services for the Blair Road West expansion project. The maximum cost on this is $320,000, and this is to acquire right-of-way, which this is all part of a streets capital project. Does anyone have any questions? Moving.
I'm sorry,
Go
I do
ahead.
have a question. There's currently no plan for improvement on Blair Road as is, correct?
This is for the new part of Blair Road that
Right,
goes
that we
out
expand
past Waldron
Past
Road.
Waldron, okay.
That would connect over to Carruthers.
Thank you.
And then new business, first reading ordinance 2023-21, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 14 parcel 72 consisting of approximately 9.3 acres located at 31 Lillian Buchanan Drive from a C2 highway service commercial district to a R3 high density residential zoning district. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on August 29th, 2023. We do have a representative for this project here, so Josh, if you'd come up and just kind of talk to the board about what you're planning, and I don't know, Glenn, do we have? Yeah, we have the slides in the packet.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much. So Josh Hamby here from Woodhaven Development Group. We are the contract purchaser of these 23 acres today, and we are seeking to rezone just 9.3 acres of the overall parcel. So as we looked at in Planning Commission, the two zoning districts that exist over in this part of town are C2 commercial, which is mostly the frontage of our property, but also extends to this rear piece. And then all the surrounding land behind is R3. So we're looking to slide that into conforming zoning with the rest of the land not on the Murfreesboro Road frontage, and allow for some Class A apartments on the western side of the project. The centerpiece here is where we'll have out parcels 1, 2, and 3. Out parcel 3 is the only one that is officially signed up to a retailer, and that is an international chain of grocery stores. We'll be signalizing the intersection right there as well and working with DOT to try and design a decel lane for a right turn in. Out parcels 1 and 2, which will be the first two there. Those are slated for quick service restaurants. We have LOIs for each, but we are not executing documents until we have rezoning approval. And then out parcel 4 is the one that is still up in the air. That one is, arguably the belle of the ball in terms of land selection goes, due to being the only unspoken piece that shares the signal with the grocer. And out parcel 5, we are aiming to bring Laverne's first full-service restaurant. It currently looks like that's going to be a multi-tenant building with an amenity user as well as a full-service restaurant, but we are leaning towards full-service restaurant with patio, which is something we've been very deliberate about trying to bring to the city as part of this project.
Does anyone have any questions? No, we've got elevations in the packet as well as layout for the, as you can see, similar to the board here with everything. Thank you, Josh.
Absolutely.
Moving on to first reading ordinance 2023-22, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2022-2023 general fund budget. This is budget for departments that went over their line item budgets, including judicial, city administrator, city recorder, IT, fleet, and recreation. It'll move $256,000 from fund budget, from fund balance to these departments. Does anyone have any questions? First reading ordinance 2023-23, an ordinance to amend Title 14, Chapter 3 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding grading, soil erosion, and sedimentation control, and Title 14 and Chapter 6 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the stormwater management ordinance. Gary, do you want to come up and just explain this? I know we did some wrangling to get that stormwater board together to go through this, but...
Okay. Gary Lyde, your city engineer. What we have is the state of Tennessee has revised the municipal stormwater permit requirements for cities of our size throughout the state. So we were required to modify the stormwater management ordinance to comply with that. In addition to that, we're taking the opportunity. We had two very similar parts of the code, Chapter 3 and Chapter 6. One was grading, drainage, and erosion control. The other was stormwater. So we've gotten rid of Chapter 3 and putting everything in one comprehensive ordinance to eliminate redundancies. And we've also taken the opportunity while we're at it to add some items for worker safety for the Laverne workers. Any questions?
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Resolution 2023-17, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the city's needs and directing disposal of the same. This is about 79 weapons with the police department that have been awarded. And that would be a trade-in with Craig's Firearm Supply. It'd save the city about $7,455. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to number 12, approve the renewal of a license agreement with Windstream KDL LLC to construct, maintain, and operate and use a fiber optic telecommunications network within a specified portion of the city's right-of-way. This would, just as it sounds, provide that provision. The proposed rate for the use of the city is $500 per year, which is the same amount as the previous agreement. Evan, if you don't mind me asking, we did get that provision put in there as well that has the, is it the consumer index or is it inflation we're going
I
off
think
of?
it's the consumer price index, so there's an escalator clause in this agreement that the amount of the franchise fee will go up pursuant to the consumer price index.
Does anyone have any questions?
I do want to note that we are still waiting to hear back from Windstream as to whether they are okay with the terms. We thought we would have heard back from them by now. So we'll see if we hear anything by Tuesday, and we'll decide whether to leave it on or take it off.
Okay. I personally, if we haven't heard from them, I would prefer taking it off until, that way if they have an issue with it, we haven't approved something that's not already approved. Last but not least, we've got the appoint or remove board and committee members, Stormwater Appeals and Advisory Board. We've got 2 terms vacant, and they've been vacant for a little while now. So that's being advertised on Channel 3 and on social media. And if we have any applicants by the time we get to Tuesday, this will remain on the agenda. Otherwise, it will be removed. So if you know of anyone who's looking to get involved, please be sure to let them know about this opening. With that, we have the mayor and alderman comments. Alderman Waldron.
All right, just, again, just check on the elderly, and make sure your pets has got, fresh water and shade, and, keep the Smith family in our prayers for their loss. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Alderwoman Hobbs.
I wanted to make a request for consent agenda item C to be listed as a line item. I've got a little bit of concern about making an investment of $300,000 to expand Blair Road, especially there's currently no shoulders on Blair Road, so there's really nowhere to, enforce speeding, nowhere to pull over safety if you have a disabled vehicle. Just in the last 2 weeks, there's been a 4-car accident that involved a school bus like I said, there's no shoulders there, just ravine, so I have just a little bit of concern about investing more money and expanding Blair Road when Blair Road itself is not quite sufficient for the traffic that it's carrying right now. So, thank you.
Alderwoman Haas?
I'm good.
Wonderful. Well, want to ask everyone to keep Vice Mayor No in your prayers. He will hopefully be with us on Tuesday. He's under the weather. With that, call this meeting adjourned.